It's the JJYPodcast. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. I am back. I'm sorry it has been a while. There have been a lot of changes in my life, a lot of personal things, a lot of not personal things. And I just needed to get some stuff together. And one of those things, honestly, was I wanted to take the show in a different direction. So I truly believe that we are so screwed as a country, as a world, as the people that we're turning into, the things that we are allowing to take place. It's kind of scary, actually. And I wanted to still keep the humor side of it, but at the same time, I wanted to be a little more. I wanted to talk about some of the things that were happening a little more, and then make fun of them, but at the same time, get the information out there, so at least people in a different setting than listening to a bunch of political pundits going back and forth, interrupting each other and just screaming at each other. It's that's never gotten anybody anywhere. So I ended up meeting a gentleman, good-looking single gentleman by the name of Roether. And he became a really good friend of mine, and he was talking to me about, because I'd always had plans to revamp the show. I just didn't know when it was going to come to fruition, and it just happens that now is the time. But I'm here to stay, as long as you guys will listen, and we have so much that's going on and that is going to be in store for the audience. We want to get into philosophy, religion, politics, but take it from a whole different side that I almost can guarantee you've never heard of before, because I believe in my insanity that I have figured out I don't have definitive answers as to how the whole machine runs, but I have a much clearer perspective, I believe, of how it's going down, and I want to share that with everybody. And Zach, I'm going to turn the table over. I'm going to turn the time over to you, and why don't you just kind of tell the audience a little bit about your background and where you see the show going, and your enthusiasm for being here, and how it's pretty much been the best decision you've ever made in your entire life to come over here and decide to be part of the Just Josh and You podcast.
So super excited. Heard the past podcasts, listened to quite a few of them, and I love the idea of it. Love the direction that Josh wants to take it, and covering a variety of topics, and kind of bringing that, not satire, humor, but making light of things, but also having a laugh along the way, and just more or less growing it across platforms and reaching a bigger audience and getting everything out there and on what we think and what's going on. And I'm really excited to be a part of it and excited to be here.
Well, and I'm gonna be honest, dude. I feel like you and I think a lot alike. Like in the time that we've spent time together, you'll get jokes that I only think I'm gonna get, and vice versa. And I'll say something and then you were just gonna say it, or vice versa.
Oh yeah.
It's been really cool to see that part of our relationship kind of grow a little bit. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what a lot of it'll take is, making the show and having that kind of chemistry on there will definitely help out quite a bit.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, tons.
But on a serious note, I really am. Anymore, it seems like the political scene is a complete fabrication developed just so we have something to entertain us that keeps our eyes off of the ball.
Oh,
You know?
100%, 100%. It's they're choosing your enemy for you, and they just want you to focus on that with something else going on in the background.
Have you seen the movie Don't Look Up?
I have not.
Dude, you've got to check that out.
I've not.
It could be a documentary.
Really?
I mean, it's funny. I mean, it's got Jonah Hill in it. It's good.
Okay.
It's funny, and it's got a lot of funny parts. But the whole like if you whittle it down to the simplest form, the message that it's putting out there is we're so screwed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? As a society, the things that we that hold our priority is, I mean, all the way down to you give me one institution or government program and I can almost tell you how it was corrupted or a lot of it even came to fruition so it could be corrupted.
Mm-hmm.
Like the housing industry.
Oh, yes.
You know, like
I mean,
the banks needed something tangible to attach loans to, and they're the driving force of everything.
Oh, yeah, it's all government controlled.
It's crazy.
Yeah. No, yeah, the housing department's all government controlled, and it's crazy because when I worked in a mortgage bank for about, it was a short time. It was only about 2 months. But what I was doing was I was finalizing loans, and I didn't realize that they go through really two places unless it's a military loan, VA loan. Other than that, it's really through Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. And everybody knows those names from '08 and mainly from student loans because they were also put on by the government. But it's amazing how much both of those institutions are still controlled by the government because of the outside funding that it brings in from other countries.
Well, and you see competing opportunities that come along that try and save you money, like tiny houses or solar or any of that. And the way that it's set up, you know, they don't want you to only be $30,000 on a mortgage.
Oh no.
You know, that's not good enough. And isn't it funny, even that whole system, like the credit in which that we're rated on, like you can spend your entire life paying your house payment on time. You miss one of those payments and it's over.
Oh yeah, no, it just wrecks you.
You know, it's you almost can't come back from it. And it's like, how funny is it that, you know, because they count on it.
Yeah.
If you default, they're better off for it. They get to write it off, and then anything that they collect is icing on the cake.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That, and if they make the loan, they don't have to stick to it. They can just package your loan off and sell it to another company. They don't care. They just want the upfront service fee, and they just want to move along. I mean, it's a great part of capitalism, but there's such a downside effect to it because it really just gets people to where, you know, everybody's heard the term car and house broke. I mean, that's really where they want you. They want you to make sure that you have X amount coming out. They don't want you to have true cash in the bank. They want you to be on credit.
It's a complete illusion of freedom.
It is.
Because you're really never free.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're tied to something. They want that is the motivating factor in their eyes, I believe, or their motivating factor rather, to keep you in a certain spot.
Well, and I used to get so caught up in it, and I feel like now I realize that the train wreck is inevitable, I believe, at this point.
Oh yeah, especially with cars.
Cars
is insane. I was, you know this, but I started selling cars about 9 years ago, and got into finance, and then got into running a store, a new car store, and it blows my mind. When I first got in, a 72-month loan was, you know, don't do that. But you go to a big city, they're doing 96-month loans on $20,000 at 15%. I mean, imagine buying a $20,000 car and paying on it for 8 years. I mean, you're never going to get out of that vehicle.
Yeah, and they don't care.
No, they don't. They want that because that way you roll over that inequity and you keep rolling and rolling and rolling, and you just get yourself in such a big hole. And the car manufacturers, they get a bad rap for it, but the fact is, The consumers want to consume so much because that's what they're trained to do.
Yep.
And by any advertising or everything that we do, I mean, everything is such an ad campaign.
Totally.
And it can go across from cars to pharmaceutical to everything in our society is truly just an ad campaign. Politics, ad campaign. I mean, there's nothing in this world that's not an ad campaign when it comes to our society. They just want us to consume and be the consumer.
And it's the shackles that keep us attached to the prison.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because we can never get out of the hole.
Oh, no, we can't. We can't. The hole's going to... It's going to pop. Everybody thought 08 was bad. It's something worse is going to happen.
Well, and I mean, we can get into that if we want to, but I mean, I know I think a storm's coming.
I mean, that's like a little far down that rabbit hole, but
you know what though, dude? I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is. You know, Stephen Hawking, before he passed away, one of his final predictions is he said, "I give humanity 200 years," and I think that is a gross over.
That's generous.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking like 2026. If you read The Fourth Turning, I mean, dude,
we've talked about it before. How many people think it's just gonna end and that's how they you know what I mean? Like every day, no responsibility, nothing matters because it's all gonna end tomorrow.
Would you like to stay home and play video games all day? Now you can. Thanks, government. I'm homeless and I got a cell phone. It worked for Sheila. Now you can try it. All you have to do is lose everything.
I don't think it's happening tomorrow, but it's something is gonna happen toward the world
sooner rather than later.
Right.
When I'll be honest with you, when Israel happened, I was like, "Oh snap, dude."
Right.
Yeah, this is one of the red flags.
Well, I mean, is it? I mean,
yeah, totally.
It's set up to be. I mean, it's set up to be. How does it start, and why does it immediately switch to? We have to have their back, no matter what happened. Now I know they were attacked. And that's the headline. What happened before that? You can always go back further and see.
See, this is why I'm so grateful that I made the choice that I did to hook up with you, and not in a sexual way, but on a professional level, just so everybody knows. We have a small town. We don't need people talking. Zach is hot though, and if I ever did switch teams, I mean, you would probably be one of those considerations. Zach,
I mean,
I just want you to know
I'm probably a 10.
Wonderful.
I'm probably a 10.
No, dude, I think exactly along the lines that you do, 1,000%. How does two superpowers, the United States and Israel, dude, play this game with me. Let's say I was walking around Milford saying, I'm going to fucking kill Zach. I'm going to come to his house and I'm going to shoot him up, and anyone that's around him, I'm going to take out his entire family. Some people actually might be for that, but that's not the point. That is not the point. The point is you would do something to keep yourself from that attack, right?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe put up some security,
maybe,
whatever it is.
Maybe develop the best.
How in the hell did the United States, the intelligence of the United States, and furthermore the intelligence of Israel
Mossad.
Not see that
it's bullshit.
That was coming.
It's bullshit.
They allowed it to happen.
I'll take you a little history lesson. So, the Beirut bombing back in the 80s, okay? Mossad knew the building was going to be bombed. They knew the van. They knew everything. There were you have to look it up, but multiple Americans killed in this bombing. Mossad knew. Mossad chose not to say anything. They didn't tip off any of the U.S. intelligence. They didn't tip off any of us. They just let us die. And you're telling me that this organization that, I don't know, I've only heard stories about Mossad, and I've heard of our intelligence, which is probably the biggest budget in the world for intelligence. It's probably ours. But you're telling me...
bar none.
You're telling me that those two, Mossad will go kill you wherever you're at. They don't care what country.
No.
They're savages. I mean, they protect their interests. They don't care if you're in Iraq. They don't care if you're in Russia. They don't care if you're in the UK. If it's a hit, it's a hit. That's Mossad. Mossad will hit you wherever. You're telling me that they didn't know people right on their border were planning an attack for a year?
Well, and furthermore, we paid for it. I mean,
for all of it.
Like Zach, dude, I totally have your back. Anyone messes with you, dude, I've got your back. And then I go buy the gun that the other person buys from someone else to kill you. I mean, but I got your back. Like, dude, if I was Israel, that's what I mean. If it was real, they know how stupid the majority base is.
Well,
and I'm sorry to say that, but it's true.
How many people immediately came out and was like, boom, Israel's right. Boom, Israel's right.
1,000%.
And you know what? They probably, let's say they were. I'm not saying that they weren't, but then they start throwing words out there that are just terrible. Genocide and all these other words. And what is any war, any conflict that's ever happened in human history that could not be considered genocide? That is what war is.
Well, and always over religion and power.
Oh yeah. That, or if you have a different, what is it? Two countries that have had the same political, like two democracies. Like there's very few times when you've had like two democracies actually go to war. When you compare it to like a fascist government or a communist government.
Well, and how does Britain not get called out for this shit? Because they were the ones that left the Middle East in the dismay that it was. When they occupied and had that territory for the war.
They had the whole
and then after they're just like, well, good luck.
Yeah, I mean, look what we did.
Dude,
look at the vacuum we created.
Yeah, 1,000%.
I mean, we're all guilty of it.
1,000%.
But we're also guilty of going in the first place.
But that's the other side of it that's unfortunate, is we deserve anything that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
I think we're still going to win whatever it is, because clearly we are willing to do more than any other country. I mean,
But are we, though?
Well, we're the only ones that have done it so far.
I know, but we're not. Yeah, well.
Not saying we're the bad guys. I'm just saying, hey.
No, but we are the bad guys, though.
I think that we're the bad guys in a lot of situations right now. I don't think we used to do it this way.
I don't
think
know.
We used to do stuff for
look
more
at
of a moral.
Look at Vietnam.
That's the perfect.
I mean, how back do you want to go? How far back do you want to go?
Since World War II, I don't think we've done anything for a moral reason. I don't think that we've started any conflict for a moral reason. You know, we hear election interference and we hear all those terms during elections here. My question is, how many elections has the U.S. forced hands in worldwide in the last 50 years? How many places have we sent in? We've literally killed leaders in other countries during elections. I mean, we've gotten caught trying to kill leaders.
And if we don't do it directly, we sell people the weapons that will eventually gain the power to kill them.
Oh, it's the same thing.
You know what I mean? Like Ukraine, and man, but history repeats itself too, and that's what I mean. I think that there is a plan, but at the same time, I really do think that there are people that would love to take over America and disrupt that whole system, and it's going to be prime for the taking, because
we already seen how many people are just willing to bend the knee. We've already seen it.
And people like us that live next to one of the major bases, we know these women and men and kids that are fighting, we know them.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They live here, Luke.
No,
you know what I mean?
Like
it's just like it's disgusting.
They're real people. I mean, they're not.
And the government doesn't give a shit about them.
Oh no.
They're
government
totally,
property.
You're expendable. It's like, hey, if we have to kill a couple of thousand people to get what we want, I mean, isn't it funny? Like the same thing that happened. Israel took a page out of the American playbook. And Israel's like, well, look what America did. They allowed 9/11 to happen. Yeah, I'm saying it, everybody. It's coming out right now. 9/11 was allowed to take place. That is why there are so many countries that have the means to wipe out the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to be done.
Although, have you ever looked through and seen how many places have been able to conquer Iraq and Afghanistan?
But that's what I mean.
There's been like one person that's been able to go through and actually get them throughout history. It's such a hard area to beat.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not.
Well,
Like,
doing
you know
it
what
by
I
doing
mean?
it the right way.
Yeah, because there's a right way now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You know what I mean? You
We're
don't
going to
want
be
that.
good terrorists. No, but seriously, like we have the power to rid this out if we really wanted to.
Yeah, but we don't want that.
No, we don't.
We want government contracts.
They like the wars.
We want the contracts.
And they like how they get to take away more of our freedom. COVID was a perfect example of that.
And that's what I brought up bend the knee for. To where it's still crazy to me that if it ever turned into a situation where people actually got the nuts to come over here and try to do something, there's sadly, I believe, a big percentage of the population that would immediately just say, yeah, it's okay, let it happen. That they wouldn't stand up for an American ideal. They wouldn't stand up for what America stands for. Because I don't think we stand up for it all the time anymore.
No, absolutely not.
And
Absolutely not.
It used to mean something, and it still does throughout the world. American and the idea, it carries weight. But it's sad that there's a certain population here that they would just say, okay, no, we need to listen to them. We just need to bend the knee. We just whatever they say goes. I mean, we've seen it with COVID.
But that's the media narrative, though.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? They sell it to us that way, they keep us so preoccupied with fighting each other that we don't really get the chance or opportunity to see what's really going on behind the curtain.
No, we don't. It's
you know what I mean? It's like if there was a country out there that told us that they were going to wipe us off the map, and it wasn't a question of, that's what a lot of these stupid college kids that are protesting don't understand. This isn't about territory, you idiots. It's not about territory. They believe that a certain person should be wiped off the face of the earth because they're infidels, that being the Jews.
Yeah.
They're no different than the Nazis.
No, they're not.
It has nothing to do with the land.
People forget, on the flip side, the other people believe the same fucking thing.
1,000%.
You know what I mean?
And we've circled back around to the main point that it's coming from all sides.
No, it is. And
it's the perfect storm.
Does anybody realize that they're fighting over the same land because they believe the same things happen there?
Oh, yeah.
The same holy sites?
Yeah.
Like, why is nobody saying, oh, yeah, they want Jerusalem because they think this happened there? Oh, they want this because they think this happened there.
Yeah.
And the other side thinks the same exact thing happens there. We're talking about 3 religions, 2 of which continue after Jesus Christ, and 1 stops. I mean, up until that point, we're all pretty close in agreement.
Right.
From my knowledge of it. And it's just, well why can't we all just share the sites? Why can it only belong to one group? And why is this one group so protected throughout the world because of something that horrible that happened to them 100 years ago?
And I believe the short answer to that is special interest.
It is. It has nothing to do with what's actually there.
I was listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson the other day, one of his old clips, and for the record, I'm not happy with Neil deGrasse Tyson right now, but it still doesn't mean that he's very smart and he has a lot of other things going for him. But he was talking about how the only reason why we went to the moon was because it was a political thing. Yeah. We never went there out of genuine want to discover and to explore.
My phone has more computer capabilities than anything they had back then times 1,000.
Is it an Apple?
Yeah,
okay.
It could be.
So it doesn't then.
Well, well, I'm here to tell you that we're recording this on this Mac right now.
Okay, you know what? That's different, Zach. It's different. I don't use my laptop to make phone calls.
But my whole thing is, did we go to the moon, and why the hell haven't we been back?
Because there wasn't a political agenda.
Why haven't we been back?
Because there isn't a political agenda. That's why Elon Musk is such a rock star, because he's like, you know what? I'm doing this not because someone else is trying to get there first, not because there's some political agenda and it's going to make America look bad. We're going there because we genuinely want to figure out where we fit in the cosmos.
But can he get to the moon?
Oh, 1,000%. He can do whatever he wants. He's Elon Musk, dude.
But I'd be surprised if he gets to the moon. Then I'll believe that we went there before.
He'll be to the moon in 2024. 2025. No, hold on. Okay, Google. Yeah. When is SpaceX planning on making a trip to the moon?
On the website Euronews.com, they say, NASA already has contracted for a Starship to land its astronauts on the moon in 2025 or so, in the first lunar touchdown since Apollo. Tito said the couple's contract with SpaceX, signed in August 2021 and announced on Wednesday, October 12th, includes an option for a flight within 5 years from now.
Dude,
to find out more, look for the link in your Google Home or Google
So,
Assistant
here's
app.
my question.
Okay.
Here's my question. When did Kennedy make this speech? Was it 61? 60? That we were going to make it to the moon? Or just...
I think it was 62.
Okay.
Well, we don't have to not know. Okay, Google. When did Ronald Reagan make his "We Fly to the Moon" speech?
Kennedy.
Oh, shit,
I
Kennedy.
don't know, but I found these results on search.
President Reagan's remarks at the 15th anniversary of Apollo.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was one of JFK's most famous speeches when he said,
I don't
"We
know,
will."
but I found these results on search.
Oh, my gosh.
That
Yeah,
we
we
will-
go to the moon.
Yeah, we'll make
We
it to
go
the
to
moon.
the moon.
And it took him 6 years.
Yeah.
7 years.
Didn't take that long.
Yeah, and it looks like we're still on the same time.
Oh, well, yeah, once again, because government had controlled it.
Well, yeah. True.
The only reason why they allocated those funds was because it was a way to put
Did
a
you
feather
see?
in our cap.
Have you seen the shit show that the Russians had when they tried to get out in space?
Oh, yeah.
They were deleting people out of pictures that they
yeah.
took because they just lost them
Yeah.
in space.
Yeah.
Just imagine you're just Superman, just leaving your planet.
Oh my gosh,
and
dude.
you just never land anywhere.
No, and that's the thing. It's not. It definitely. I'm not saying that it's an easy thing to do, because it's not. But the private sector needs to take over more, because what are the two most important reasons to have government? One is to protect its citizens.
Yeah, and well, ours is to protect its interests.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
But no, protected citizens, and really, I mean, without government, you don't have society. You really don't. You don't have a society standard that we have today, where there's protections and you can walk down the street and not have to worry about anything.
You think that you think you give the government credit for that, though?
Mm-hmm. It's all government institutions that enforce that.
Yeah, dude, but here's the thing, okay? Like out here in the country, we all have guns. No one breaks into houses out here because they know every single person probably has like 50 guns just laying around their house.
Yeah. Yeah.
We would be able to protect our own selves. We don't need mommy and daddy doing it for us. Is the only thing I'm seeing. It's like government. That's the illusion. Is they make us think that we can't do anything without them. It's a wonder they even made it to the damn moon. You see how they run the freaking mail system, for heaven's sakes.
Oh, good God, yes.
Like, if that was a company, an actual private company, it would have been out of business a long time ago.
Oh, but so many of them that the government does are like that.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
I mean, the government can't run a
company. Elon has shown us we don't need government. You want to make something happen, you pull together. You can do it cheaper. You can do it more efficiently. But see, there's no special interest with that.
No, exactly. But I don't think it was always like that for the U.S. I really don't. I think there used to be a time where a leader meant something, and it meant more than just bringing confidence to a market or winning a war. They actually were able to do stuff to where now they got it to where you can't do anything. I mean, like, you have to jump through so many hoops to get anything done, and so much money spent, so much money wasted, so much time wasted that way easier for the private sector to do it because it's just somebody making decisions and not having to rely on, a whole group to say yes twice and the president to say yes on it. I mean, it's great we have that in place so like crazy shit can't happen. But I think with the private sector, yes, you're 100% right that you can make stuff happen quicker and more efficient and successful, more or less.
I mean, that's why I didn't trust the vaccines.
Oh, see,
It's
I got played, dude.
Government has never produced anything that quickly in our entire lives. And then on top of that, it's, and by the way, we're not held responsible for if you take it and you grow 7 eyeballs.
Oh, yeah, that and your tax dollars went into the research of this, and the company that used your tax dollars for the research on this also then sold it back to you.
Yeah.
And made billions.
At quadruple the price.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, Bill. Bill, you don't look healthy. Mr. Gates.
No.
If you're talking to me about health, I'd rather go somewhere else because you don't look healthy.
I would love to punch that bastard in the throat, dude.
You'd probably kill him.
I mean, I don't want to kill him.
No, I'm saying is the guy looks fragile.
I just want to severely injure him.
The guy looks fragile is all I'm saying. I mean, there's just there's not a whole out there. We've all seen the jumping over the chair clip.
Did you see the clip? Did you see the clip between or maybe it was a tweet that went out between Elon Musk and Bill Gates where Bill Gates was like saying, we need to do this and this and this, and Elon's like, or are you still going to short Tesla stocks?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah. And Elon's like, that's why we're going to shove it up your ass.
Yes. He put up the picture of him. He said an easy way to lose a boner.
Yeah.
And he put up a picture of Bill Gates.
This just in. Bill Gates causes ED.
No, dude, it's fucking
You go
wild,
in and talk
man.
to your doctor. I can't get the sleigh off the ground anymore. Have you been paying attention to Bill Gates? Yep, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why it's not working.
You've been buying Microsoft stock.
Yeah.
Speaking of Microsoft.
I mean, we just barely stopped celebrating Windows 95.
Speaking of Microsoft, did you see the military just switched all their servers over?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Military just switched all their servers over to Microsoft.
No kid. Well, who were they going through before?
I think it was held with the government. And they just switched over to Microsoft servers here last year.
No kidding.
Yeah. Which seems crazy. You know what I mean? It just, why were we having, it's cool that we incorporate in a private company, but holy shit.
Well, honestly, probably because the government doesn't want to admit that the private company can do a better job than they can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of, because I mean, honestly, I mean, it's no different than NASA now having to, dude, it's the perfect story, because astronauts, people that Elon had revered for his entire life, were the very people that were going up and saying that he was crazy and that he doesn't know what the hell he's doing and he could never do what he does. And now that very institution is using them to get to space because they couldn't figure it out for themselves.
Oh yeah, Bezos even tried.
Just like
Bezos tried, and he's not Elon. But neither one of them are richest now. Renault. Bernard Renault. Richest man in the world.
And for what?
He makes a car that's sold in like 6 countries. Like, I don't get it. Like, I seen it in Brazil. I know they're in France, but I've never seen a Renault in the States.
Dude, I can't honestly, I can wrap my mind around millions.
Oh yeah.
But billions and trillions.
No, we don't
Like,
we don't know what $1 trillion is.
no way.
You can write it down.
Yeah.
I promise you probably can't count to it in your lifetime.
Yeah.
If you used every second,
Yeah.
you're not gonna be able to count to it.
Just
It's like what, 13 days to count to 1 million by seconds.
So let me ask you, if tomorrow you had that much money, what would you do?
Well, the only person that could be able to spend it would be the U.S. government.
No, they've already taken half of it because they taxed your ass before you got it.
So we're walking in with the smooth 500.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how much my life would change. It'd change a little bit. But what more does a guy need than a couple houses and a couple cars at each house? I mean, maybe at that point you need access and you need a jet, but I mean, I'm just going to be a piece of shit. I'm going to send travel, tell the world about global warming, on my private jet.
You don't really believe in global warming. Okay. I'm like, maybe we didn't look over the resume close enough.
Use all
It says here you're a Nazi. Is that correct?
Yeah, go meet up with Miss Greta. Too bad I didn't get to miss high school for my tour. Would have been sweet. I just missed it at my grandma's house where I went and skipped school.
Oh, my hell. Oh, dude. It just never ends, man. You know what I mean? It just never ends.
No, but that goes back to like this whole thing where they push these narratives to make you look over here, and it's just like the worst one I've seen recently is when that submarine that was controlled by a fucking N64 controller went to go see the Titanic, and it implodes, of course, because it just sounds like a bad idea to be using a fucking controller. Like, not like controls, like an Xbox controller to control this thing. That is, if something bad happens, not that you're injured, that everybody's dead.
Okay, well, I'm confused. At first, you said it was an N64 controller. Now you're saying it's Xbox.
I think
Which is it, dude?
I actually think it was a DualShock PlayStation controller. It was something, but it wasn't
the M3550.
It wasn't a newer one either. It was an older one, which makes it like so stupid all the way around. And when that does, the U.S. Navy knew where it imploded and knew where the site was and had the audacity to come in and help search efforts for 2 days. Like, hey, maybe you want to go look over there.
Yeah.
In the meantime, J.P. Morgan Chase settles out of court with Epstein victims for like millions of dollars and then gets a contract to rebuild Ukraine. And then you don't hear about this submarine again. Wall-to-wall coverage, 48 hours.
And it's done.
That's just another little psyop where they just want you to look this way.
Yep.
Why they do their bullshit in the background. Like the Maui fires. All of that. What are they doing when this happens? It's like whenever they see something bad happen, I'm not saying those things didn't happen. I'm saying it's like they look for those opportunities. When there's a disaster somewhere, that boom, Congress is going to work. And they're just like, hey, we're going to pass all this shit back door real quick while everybody's looking over here. And
that's exactly something else that they're not talking about anymore.
Yeah.
You don't hear pretty much anything about Hawaii anymore.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oprah got too much money. Come on now.
Those guys were getting screwed.
Fuck yes.
Did you see Rock's apology video?
Yeah. Did he ever live there?
I think
I know, like
he has born there.
I don't think so,
dude. He's Hawaiian.
I agree.
Okay, Google. Where was Dwayne Johnson born?
Dwayne Johnson was born in Hayward.
Oh my hell! Are you kidding me? He's not even a real citizen. Are you shitting me?
You see what I'm saying?
Wait a minute. So how is he even Hawaiian?
No, it's like Hawaiian descent.
No way.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Okay, Google. Does Dwayne Johnson live in Hawaii?
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
No, but he recently bought a bunch of property.
I'm sure he did. Oh, dude, it blows. You can't make this shit up. You know what I mean? And Oprah, you know, her ass didn't come from anywhere near Hawaii.
No.
She was on the freaking trade ships coming from South Africa.
Dude, so fun story. I've been to Brazil 3 times. I went down there the first time for a wedding for my buddy. He married a Brazilian. We were in the state, I believe, of Goiás, or I know the city was Goiânia. Okay, and you know Oprah and her spiritual healer. Have you ever heard about that?
No, I didn't know she had a spiritual healer.
Endorsed him. Went down there to go visit him. How do you know so much
about Oprah?
Because this is crazy.
Okay.
So, I was in Goiânia, which is the capital of that state. It's landlocked. Beautiful, beautiful country. I love Brazil. If I did ever have that 500 billion, that's probably where I would go move, to be honest with you.
500 billion?
Dude, if I'd live in Brazil for sure. It's probably the most beautiful place I've ever been.
Is it expensive?
Oh, no, dirt cheap, dude.
Well, so why would you need 5 billion?
What I'm saying is, you said if I had a half a trillion.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did give you a raise.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so what if you had like $300,000?
That wouldn't be enough to make that work for the rest of my life.
How long do you think it would take you though to burn through that?
You're a millionaire down there. 300,000. You're a millionaire.
No shit.
Yeah. You're a millionaire on the Rii. Oh yeah. So this place we went, capital of the city, and where Oprah's spiritual healer, like John of God or something like that, was his name. You'd have to check, but he was a spiritual healer she had on the show multiple times that would do like these healings. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like some bullshit. He got caught human trafficking. And he was actually like having women have babies and trafficking babies down there. That was 30 minutes from where I was at in Brazil. It's like John of God or something like that. Oh yeah, it goes into the whole Epstein rabbit hole.
Okay, Google. Who is Oprah Winfrey's spiritual
healer?
João Teixeira de Faria. On the website barons.com, they say, João Teixeira de Faria, 81, better known as João de Deus, or John of God, treated tens of thousands of people per month at his spiritual hospital in the small town of Abadiânia in central Brazil, according to officials. He shot to international fame when U.S. TV star Oprah Winfrey profiled him in 2013.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit. Thanks, Google. You're the best.
And then, so then the lady that did all the weird art with Epstein and everything, like she was involved down there, like they all were down in Brazil. Like, yeah, it goes into that whole conspiracy on human trafficking and Oprah. Oh, yeah. I was like there. I wish I would have known I was down there. Like, I went on a tour or something. You know what I mean? Yeah, he got busted. John Guy got busted.
Dude, I just don't get it. And I know that everyone has like addictions and stuff like that, but did you ever watch Breaking Bad?
I watched a little bit. I'm not well versed, but I've seen a season or two.
Well, there's an episode later on in the season, much later on in the season, where she takes Walt to a storage unit and lifts up the door, and there's a pallet filled with cash, like just a shitload of cash. And she goes, how much more do you need? Like, when's enough? And it's so sad because you have people like Oprah Winfrey, who has more money than a lot of people will never even be able to dream of.
In the power.
and the power, right? And you still want more after that. That's the problem. It's not going to, and that's where I think we've lost it as a society, which is really funny because the majority of people claim to be Christian and have some belief in a deity, and so you know and understand that there's going to be a finality, and you're not going to be able to take any of that stuff with you. So why on God's green earth would you need more? Like, you've got the plushest life in the world. You can give and solve major problems with that amount of money and still have a shit ton of money to do whatever in the hell you wanted to. And it's like, so I just don't, the mentality, it just, we're all renters.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we don't own shit, man. Like, you know what I mean? We
No.
sit here and waste our time killing each other over land that we're only going to be on for a certain amount of
and
time.
you never really own it.
And no.
You pay
nothing,
taxes on it.
Nothing. And even if you do own it, even if they said, okay, you know what, 100%, 1,000%, you genuinely own it, it wouldn't matter because you're going to die anyway.
Yeah. No, it is. And like, you see people like, Mr. Beast?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Mr. Beast.
Have you seen what he's done in Africa?
Yeah.
Just putting in wells in all these
that
cities.
dude's a stud.
Yeah. And he goes, I don't need this money.
Yeah.
He goes, I used to live in a duplex that I had a roommate and I split for like $500 a month was my rent. And this guy's a millionaire. And it's so he could make better videos and give his money away. And now he goes, I've had to buy a bigger house for security reasons because people come in and steal all my shit. But he goes, that's all he does. He keeps enough money for production and he keeps enough money to live, I imagine, comfortably. But he's not like buying mansions across the world. He's not trying to peddle influence and stuff like that. He's not. He's just doing good things worldwide. From Wichita, Kansas, by the way. Mr.
Wichita?
Beast. Yeah, from Kansas.
That's badass. That's why he's so awesome, is because he's from Kansas.
That's why I like him.
But, it does piss me off that for the state that pretty much championed basketball, we don't have an NBA team here, and that's, like, bogus.
It is. So we used to have the Kansas City Monarchs.
Yeah, but that was in Kansas City, though.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah.
Like I don't understand the whole Chiefs situation here.
KC Mo.
You know what I mean? It's like if the Jazz lived just over the border in Wyoming, and they were the Wyoming Jazz, like.
Well, because yours is named after a state, whereas one's named after a city. It's kind of like Jacksonville Jaguars. If that was in if it was across the border and it was in a different city and it was named after a city that shared a border. Because I imagine there's more cities than just Kansas City that cross a state border. Maybe not. It's kind of weird when you say it out loud.
Have you ever said something and then immediately regretted it? No.
But,
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and so I think there's some old deal where there cannot be a basketball team. I believe it's St. Louis. My dad was telling me at one point that there's some deal that was made a long time ago that they cannot have a basketball team in St. Louis. I know it's unrelated, but...
Ever?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It was like an old deal that was made when it was sold off. But, like, yeah, there's no... It does suck because we have KU that's 90 miles down the road.
Right.
And you got James Naismith, the founder, really, of basketball and creator. And
Yep.
not really a rock chalk guy, but it's cool to be a part of it. I've been down Fieldhouse a few times, and even if you're not a sports fan, it will blow your mind.
It gives you goosebumps.
Walking into that building.
Yep.
It will truly blow your mind. There are a few things on this earth that I think you can walk into and immediately feel the area and feel the room like you do there. And compared to other things, that'll look very small, but there are very few things. I didn't feel like that when I walked into the Sprint Center, you know what I mean, or Oklahoma City's the Thunder's arena. Never felt that there, but there's something just special about that place it's really cool.
Have you ever been to Utah?
I have not.
You if you ever get down there for whatever reason, They have the conference center
Mm-hmm.
for that's where the Mormons meet semi-annually. And that building is absolutely huge.
Magnificent.
It's crazy.
Oh.
I think you can fit two 747s side by side
Jeez.
in that thing, and they fill it every single time, and it's freaking huge. And the organ takes up the whole back wall. It's nuts. Like, religion aside, it's just like crazy what has been built just to basically have a meeting every 6 months.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. It's crazy, but I think we used to build great things. I don't think we build great things anymore.
We used to invent things.
Yeah, we used to build.
You know?
I mean, think of have you seen the thing on the World Fairs?
The thing on the World Fairs?
It's the buildings that they put up for the World Fairs in the U.S. And it's San Francisco, Chicago. The most famous one is Detroit because it was the first time electricity was used.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. I've been to one of those sites in Nashville.
Okay. They put these buildings up in record time. They are magnificent buildings that they tore down immediately afterwards. It is the weirdest thing I think we've ever done.
Really?
It's like, and some of it, it's like it's easy to say that because some people think like all that stuff was there beforehand, which I highly doubt. And it's like you can't really do plumbing in a limestone building that's already put up. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense for modern technology to do stuff like that. But I mean, the sculptures, the stuff people used to build, I mean, it was like magnificent things. And now all you see is the cheapest, easiest, squarest thing they can put up the quickest. And it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I think there used to be an art to it, and we just kind of lost that.
This is a character played by Jeff Daniels talking about America. I want you to listen to it and tell me what you think.
What makes America the greatest country in the world?
I love this clip.
Why is America
Not the greatest country in the world, Professor. That's my answer.
You're saying...
Yes.
Let's talk about...
Fine. Sharon, the NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of our paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money. It costs votes. It costs airtime and column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always?
Hey.
And with a straight face, you're going to tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom? Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom.
What makes America the greatest country?
Anyway, he goes on. It's I had to
dude,
cut it there.
Dude, I love that clip. I love that clip.
Such a great clip.
Dude, and I wonder the truth to it when he's going into like where we're rated at in science, math, and like literature, and all those things. And it's so true because you hear in all these elections, like when Obama was taking over in his education program and Bush's education program and all this stuff, and it's like everybody fights it so much because it's different. And it's like it's the one thing that I can agree with them on is at least we're trying something different because these other countries are whooping our ass.
But how in the hell have the American people not caught on to the hypocrisy? Like if you look at any politician, they've all steadily pushed the plane towards the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a back and forth game that's played, and nothing is ever going to be resolved.
No, they don't want it to be resolved.
So do you believe in the whole one world order thing? Like where do you see things going?
I definitely think that I don't want to use the words like deep state. I think there's like a deep state, but I don't think it's just a deep state. I think that there's a collection of people that have a hand in everything that goes on in the world. I think that it's mainly ran by financial institutions, that push everything that needs to be done according to their agendas in their pockets. There are a few families that have probably been in on it for hundreds of years, to just grow their wealth, really, and more or less, once you get a certain wealth, they don't care about the money anymore. They want the power, and I think those are the people that do control the world. So yeah, New World Order, whatever secret society you want to put it under, whether it's a Freemason or a what's the other one they call it? Cabal, whatever you want to call it. I do think that, yes, that does 100% exist, especially when you get the richest people in the world in one room for meetings. And none of them want to talk to you afterwards. Like, you got BlackRock, State Street, and then the other company, the BlackRock, Vanguard. Vanguard's the other one. If you look into Vanguard and BlackRock, it will truly blow your mind.
Well, tell me about it.
So, Vanguard owns BlackRock, or vice versa, pretty much. They hold the stock in each other's companies.
For those people that don't know what Vanguard and...
So, your retirements. So, when you have a job, and you get to pick where your retirement goes, pretty much everybody's going to have the option to put it in Vanguard and BlackRock. They hold majority shares enough to get people on boards in any major company that you can think of. Whether it's Disney, Comcast, whatever it is, they have a seat on that board. They also judge these companies for other investors. They have their own rating matrix, basically, more or less, for lack of better words. They give this company a certain rating. It's based on social, economical views, inclusiveness, environmental standards, which sounds great, except that they can pretty much control whether your company gets stock or not. I believe the guy's name's Larry Ellison. Might be wrong there. But he's the CEO of BlackRock. And he is probably the most influential man in the financial world. To where he kind of has a say on pretty much whatever happens. They're the ones that get the contracts to rebuild Ukraine and decide where they go. They're the ones that get the funding to go. They just gave like $300 million or something, $200 million to China's government for military equipment. I mean, they are truly, it's like the old Rothschild story when they were giving money to both sides that were fighting the French and something else war. And he found out the British won, and he went to the king before the king knew that they had won and demanded his money back. And like plus. Like, they're controlling the wars at that point, which is really what we're doing right now, because we're just funding everything. But basically, they provide the funding for pretty much everything in the world.
Wow.
It'll blow your mind. There's 3 companies that you'll see on the board, pretty much every company. Berkshire Hathaway's board. You're going to see Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street on all of these boards.
Are the Koch brothers involved in that as well?
I don't know if they have enough money.
So these are like the very
Yes.
the very elites.
Yes.
Have you seen The Family on Netflix? The documentary that's about the people that have basically ran the country and decide who the president's going to be.
Mm-hmm. They used to do that. They used to sit in a room and pick a president. That's how Dwight D. Eisenhower was picked.
I think they still do.
That's how Dwight D. Eisenhower from Abilene, Kansas.
I mean, look at Obama, dude. He came out of nowhere.
Did you see how he first won his Senate seat? The guy who went against died.
Really?
Yeah.
Like how?
Died during his race. Or he either died or a horrible story came out, ruined his whole race, and Obama wins.
No kidding.
It maybe not assassination. It could have just been the new form of assassination, which is character assassination. Let me try to find it.
Okay, meanwhile, here is the trailer. If any of you haven't seen it, you've got to go check out The Family. It's on Netflix. Here's the trailer right now.
In my 20s, I stumbled my way in. And what I found is a secretive Christian organization called The Family that had been hiding in plain sight for over 80 years.
This was a group with tentacles around the world.
A humble example of leadership that the world has never seen.
A breathtaking enmeshment of church and state.
There were congressmen, senators, world leaders.
And they say it's about faith, but there's a shared understanding that what we're really about here is power.
I'd like to single out Doug Coe.
Doug Coe and all of his associates. I'm grateful.
Doug Coe is the longtime leader of the family.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah, so who's Doug Coe?
Okay, yeah. So I have seen that. That is absolutely wild. I cannot remember now. I've seen that, and it is eerily like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because it is like they pick.
1,000%.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's why
he was the leader of, not of Christ, of Jesus or something like this. Not like the leader of God. They were like the leader of Jesus Christ. And that's like, there was a difference in that. Dictation of like God and Jesus Christ. There's like a difference in it. And they have met with every U.S. president in like the last, whatever it is, 50, 60 years.
We'll play the rest of it, will you?
He's the most powerful man in Washington you've never heard of.
He said the more invisible you can make your organization, the more influence it will have.
Jesus plus nothing. It's a powerful thing.
Using the National Prayer Breakfast, they dispatch representatives to build relationships with foreign leaders.
That is exactly the kind of meeting that I would want to exploit.
For the family, Jesus says you must go to those who are in positions of power.
God always uses imperfect vessels to do his perfect work. President Trump's an imperfect vessel.
Jesus is the answer.
Okay, hold it right there. Okay, that's the part where they're off the rails.
Yes, so
that's the part they don't understand.
They are a worldwide organization.
I don't think Trump was chosen. Look, dude, okay, hear me out. Here's my
hot take.
Yeah, there you go. Here's my conspiracy theory, okay? Trump, I thought Hillary Clinton was going to win. I thought for sure Hillary was going to kick his ass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every poll anywhere, like it all leaned towards that. I don't think the Democrats were ever really worried about it. It was Hillary's turn. She was promised that position.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at when she came up in the Obama cabinet, and then
Secretary
all
of
of a
State.
sudden she drops off for an entire year before the election, she was getting prepped. She was getting ready.
Mm-hmm.
And Trump saw an opportunity, I think, initially to get some free press because he had just come out with a book and The Apprentice was going well. And he was like, this is a great opportunity for me to get free press. He's going to get free press. So he just did and went what Donald Trump did. And everyone was fanatical about it. He was saying things to her and to other politicians that had never been said publicly before.
Mm-hmm.
And it was intoxicating because how many of us have sat in front of the TV and watched some of our politicians and wanted just to tell them F you to their face,
Yeah.
So it was great seeing him do that. And I think he snuck in.
No, but the part I think that made him a star was because he was from that house.
Right.
He was inside those doors.
Right.
He was behind those closed doors.
He was part of the club.
And he came out and basically, like Dave Chappelle has the skit on or the opening on SNL.
Yes.
Where he talks about it, and he says he came out from that house and he said they're doing exactly what you think they're doing in there, and so am I.
Yeah.
And we're not going to change it.
Yeah.
And it's so true. It's like when he told Hillary, release your tax returns. You're not going to do the tax cuts?
I think specifically what you're talking about that he said was when, and it was the moment that I was like, okay, even I am starting to drink the Kool-Aid on this guy because I like the shakeup. But when she goes, you've filed bankruptcy so many times, and he goes, yeah, that makes me smart.
Mm-hmm.
If you think that that's so corrupt, Hillary, why haven't you done
Right.
anything about it. You've been in politics longer than anyone else, and it'd never been thrown back like that.
No, yeah.
He
Why-
threw himself. He threw himself on the sword to make her look like shit, and
yeah.
it totally worked. And dude, Hillary, dude, you can tell she's a psycho.
Oh,
like
yeah.
when she gets mad, her eyes, they're like shark eyes, dude. They go completely
It wasn't
dilated.
in the script.
Right.
He wasn't in the script.
Yes, exactly. And it's obviously apparent because every president has been gone after in the history of our country by former administrations.
Mhm.
It's one of the rites to passage. You get to trash the previous administration. They were bound and determined never to let that happen again. And that's when all of the freaking stops got pulled out.
Oh, yeah.
Because he didn't get along with even the Republican side.
Oh, no. No, they didn't like him because he wasn't also preaching that same narrative.
And he didn't need anyone's money.
No, he didn't. Even though I don't know if he funded his whole campaign.
I think the first time he did.
I imagine he did for most of it. I imagine there's still people that are going to give money.
I know for a fact he did not take a paycheck while he was in office.
Yeah, which is fine. He was in a position where he doesn't have to. I mean, he has so much other money, he just donates it.
I know, but it's still pretty cool that he did that, though.
No,
like
it is.
anyone
It
that
is.
was just worried about money.
But my whole thing is, I don't think anybody wants to go through the stress of the president to make $400,000 a year.
Well, and I don't think. And once again, I think he was shocked when he won.
Yeah.
I really do. I think he was shocked.
It felt
when
like
he
those
won.
first couple months, he was like, "So we're doing this."
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I gotta tell you, I went to the bathroom the other day. It was the best bathroom ever.
It was great. It
Kind
was
of
great.
sounded more like Dr. Evil.
Yeah. It was
but,
great room.
Yeah. It was okay. The tub wasn't made out of gold. That's what I'm used to.
I think he was I do not hope that he wins this time. I really hope that somebody who is maybe, let's shoot for under the age of 60, maybe.
That's my other prediction is there's no way in hell that they would let him win. And he's going to be the choice.
But it's
so they're going to have to do something to that.
If Biden runs, it's scary that the two people running against each other want to just put lawsuits on each other.
Yeah.
And it's a scary time in American politics, no matter what side of the fence that you're on, because we should never have a race where the other one's trying to throw the other in jail.
Well, dude, Biden's not making it to 2024.
No, but people forget how old Trump is.
Well, yeah,
But I mean, yeah, he looks good, but he's at the age of it about being over.
Yeah, but Biden's like 10 minutes away from having to need a walker, dude.
A question for you. I've always kind of thought this.
Okay.
Just kind of want to pick your brain. What kind of drugs do you think they give the president?
Oh, dude, he's on Thorazine for sure.
Dude, like I'm saying all of them.
I'm-
Or do you think when they go to Camp David, that's when they're sick?
Oh, dude.
Because when's the last time you've seen a president get sick, except for Trump getting coronavirus? When's the last time that you've seen a president sick?
It's been a minute actually.
Yeah, what
Now
the
that I
fuck?
think
What the
about
fuck are they on? What are they giving them that ages them 12 years and 4 years?
So you think it's something that they're making them take?
I think, yeah, 'cause they have the best doctors in the world around them, and they're never sick, and they meet all kinds of people, and they travel nonstop, and they don't sleep much. I mean, I know the sleep is going to make you look older, but like Bush before and after, Obama before and after, Clinton before and after, they look like they aged 20 fucking
You know what?
years,
I think
dude.
because just like to like the military, where they're like, come serve your country, be all that you can be, and then you get in and realize that you just sold your soul to the devil. I think when you want the power and the responsibility of being a president, even though you're just playing the part, the star role, and you will get continued success and money for years and years after through book deals and speeches
You're
and
never gonna
everything
want-
like that. But I think it's a stressful job
Oh,
because
the most.
you're constantly ridiculed publicly.
The most
You
stressful.
know you're going to go through the meat grinder, but it is just it's a way of creating a legacy.
Yeah. No, it is.
Because the president, if you really think about it, really doesn't do anything.
No.
Anything that gets changed can be undone by the next guy, is what I'm saying. Like, nothing's permanent.
Hey, Obamacare stayed.
Oh yeah, Obamacare.
I want my $600 fucking a month Obamacare. Come on.
Well, don't work. Have it punch out a couple of kids, and the state will take care of you.
Oh yeah, and I mean the system's kind of rigged and set up for everybody to have kids and move along. Obviously, to grow a country is the reason why you have it set up that way. But with like taxes and everything, the advantages that you get, and they put it on kids are expensive, this and that.
Well, they want customers.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, it's great for people to have kids because they got to take care of them, and they have that market cornered.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like,
because if you're single, you ain't getting no tax benefit.
Hell no.
No, you get screwed.
Yeah, big time.
You get absolutely
big time.
Screwed.
No, they make it so, and then you got the religious aspect of it. Like, I don't know about many other religions, but my religion in particular, when I was Mormon, that was it was a commandment.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go and replenish, multiply and replenish the earth. And Mormons, on average, have a shit ton of kids.
Yeah.
And it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming.
The Catholics used to be on the kid parade.
Yeah. I mean, I think, wasn't it even at one point?
Caused a famine.
They didn't eat. Yes.
It caused the whole country. I mean, it just crippled them.
No, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong, man.
Shout out to the potato farmers, man.
It's all. And dude, isn't it weird that religions are the only organizations that don't
get taxed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Joel.
Not only do they not get taxed,
fucking Joel Osteen, you piece of shit.
Not only do they not get taxed, but they don't even have to show what they're bringing in.
You tell me JD Jakes or whatever his name is and Joel Osteen are preaching the gospel?
Yeah.
With their fucking 3 Cadillacs and their $10 million homes?
Yeah.
Dude, you are the exact opposite of what the Bible stood for. Jesus went in and flipped the tables. Everybody remembers it when they were gambling.
I felt the same way about my religion. You have a religion that makes you pay 10% of your annual income. Any money that your children make after the age of 8 are expected to pay that as well. So you have all of this money coming in, and they build their temples. It's spared at no expense, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've known contractors that have worked in the temples. They have imported materials from all over the country, and it's like, would the Jesus Christ that I read about in the Bible wouldn't want those things built?
Yeah, he definitely wouldn't want you to lock that place in a natural disaster so people didn't have shelter.
Yeah.
For sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, once again, we heard from God.
Yeah.
He said he doesn't want us to drink coffee. What did he say about whipping black people? You know what? He didn't mention it. Honestly, he just said, don't drink hot drinks and stay away from tobacco. That's what the main things were. That's what was pressing on his mind. Yeah. It wasn't that we were taking people from another country and beating the shit out of them and making them pick cotton in our fields.
And by the way, wine's good. Wine's good. Don't.
Yeah.
If you get water, make it wine.
Yeah, that's right.
No,
yeah, dude.
It's such hypocrisy.
It is a hypocrisy.
I think religion is good in the principles and values that it does teach people to be kind to one another, to not steal from one another.
Okay, but let me ask you this: Is there a different way, a different source to learn those same values without having a system where you need to pay?
In our society, no, because in our society they teach you the exact opposite. If you're not in that situation,
right.
They teach you to go sell ass on OnlyFans.
Yeah,
and they teach you to do all this garbage. And it's that old saying, "Garbage in, garbage out." I mean, it's if all you consume is garbage, you're going to be garbage. Now, I think there are like positive people that preach good things. They're not preachers, but their message is good. And I think that is another thing that we've failed horribly with, especially in my generation, because I see it firsthand. I'm 32 years old, and I see it firsthand. And it's the how everything is right now, relationship-wise and people-wise, just interaction-wise.
Minister. That's who she is. She's a minister.
Minister. Okay. But like the stuff that they teach people, this whole like, you can, I don't want to get into it too far, but like men can't be men anymore, and young men shouldn't be proud to be young men.
Well, nobody can be anybody anymore unless you want to be a different gender, and then everyone's like, yeah, we'll get behind that.
Right. But like young men can't be young men, and they can't be taught that this world is not fair to us, and this world has never been fair to us. They want to teach you that it's all happy-go-lucky, and it's not.
Well, I've always, not always, once I had to kind of reset my value system and what I stand for and where my values lie. You know, it's funny that we beat it into our kids all the time that they shouldn't lie.
Mm-hmm.
But we as parents start out our relationship with those kids with the biggest lie of their entire lives. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're going to tell them there's an Easter bunny and a Santa Claus, and we already start manipulating their intellect and thought process, because that's the world's just a magical place with a fairy that flies over a castle.
Now, I do think imagination is good, and it's something that we're losing.
As long as we know it's imagination. When I go to a magic show, I know the shit's fake. But that's what I'm paying you for.
Yeah, it's like WWF.
Yeah, I want you to fool me, you know? Like, what's going to happen if you go to a haunted house? Hopefully they're going to scare the shit out of you. That's what you're paying them for.
Yeah.
You're going in with the understanding that it's not real, but it's going to seem like it's real.
And the thing that's great about kids is that they don't understand that. And that's what's beautiful about kids, is they don't understand the difference between real and fake. At an early age, they're so they can be manipulated into so many things, and that's what makes it so dangerous when they're pushing these things everywhere at school, any advertisements during shows or anything. They're exposing them to these things that aren't real, and it's shaping them into being a kind of person, and it's not right. It's a beautiful thing about being a kid, though.
You mean the innocence?
Yes, it should be protected.
It should be, but not. I don't think you should be pouring gasoline on the fire.
I don't think outside influences should be.
Right.
I think that is something that's handled in a home.
I think you can teach them. Well, look. Let's just look. It's all part of the corporate setup, right?
Mm-hmm.
These stupid holidays and everything that they have, it all comes down to money.
Oh, yeah.
That's all it frickin' is money. Money.
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was an ad campaign.
Yeah, and we should drink a ton of milk. And you know, dude, it's just like everything that if you go back and look at it, the whole thing, it was just people that were smarter than the majority of people that used those smarts
and had
to make a profit off of it, and have the outlets to
and influence to be able to push it, and they're in positions of power, and it's completely wrong.
1,000%.
But I mean, I never thought of anything this way until COVID.
Really? So that's how recent your eyes have been opened?
Yes.
Wow.
Never thought about it until COVID. I took the vaccine, the little Moderna one, and then I got COVID 4 months later. And for anybody that tells me that if I wouldn't have got that vaccine, it would have been worth, they can blow me. I mean, more or less, because there's no way. I've never been sick like that in my life and not felt life-threatening. You know what I mean? It felt cooked up. It felt like, it didn't feel like a cold. It didn't feel like a flu. I had a different symptom every day. and the other ones were gone. And it's when that happened, I thought to myself, this is BS. They want me to inject myself with this stuff that's going to protect me, and I still get it. Get out of here. Just get out of here. I'm not doing it again.
Joe Rogan had a real prominent doctor from the UK on. I think it's episode 1729, but I can't remember. But he talks about how COVID has, all of these young people that were healthy before they took the vaccine, and now they're having heart attacks and respiratory.
Have you seen the athletes?
Yes.
Soccer. So football, cross seas, soccer. It is crazy the effects that it's had on those players. I mean, they're having heart attacks during the games. Horrible things happening. And there's an Atlanta Hawks player that took the vaccine and couldn't ever play again.
Yeah, you're right.
And then you got Kyrie Irving, who, say what you want, but he stayed in the pocket.
Yep.
When they came at him, he stayed in the pocket.
No, and I actually have a lot of respect for him on that.
Right or wrong, he stuck with what he said, and he didn't backtrack like Nick Cannon, and all those other guys that were under scrutiny for saying,
like LeBron James, that freaking idiot.
Yeah, I mean he does it for money. It's not a secret. He pushes anything for money. He's part of that group. There's a certain religion that you cannot say anything about those people. And if you do, they will ridicule you, cancel you. And if you say anything against that establishment, then, yeah, they're going to try to do character assassination on you. I mean, no different than Aaron Rodgers. There's people saying he shouldn't be allowed to play in the NFL or be the MVP because he lied about getting the vaccine. I mean, it's ridiculous.
No, it's so stupid, man.
We're judging people for not what they're doing, but we're trying to bring a false narrative in on it and spin it, and it's BS.
That's why I've come to the conclusion that we deserve what we have coming.
We do.
We dropped the ball.
We did.
We
stopped paying attention.
We got complacent, and they're off the rails, and there's nothing that I think can be done. We're too lazy to have a revolution.
Mm-hmm. Well, nobody talks anymore.
No.
Nobody.
And if they do, it's arguing.
Yeah.
Because if you disagree about something, I hate you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
oh, you're
terrible.
Your friend with a racist.
Yeah,
I can't be. You can't be friends with a racist. Well, how are you ever gonna solve it?
No, and see, you're exactly right. Like if people were just able to sit back and filter out all of the bullshit and get down to the real important thing, and someone can say, okay, Zach, well, okay, Josh, what is the real important thing then? What's the secret life? You want to know what the secret of life is? Honestly, it's the ability to benefit yourself and the people around you by a mutual goal for the embetterment of your life and the world in which you live on at the current moment. Yeah. And obviously not everyone's going to follow that pursuit, and there would be a way to deal with those people, but it really does come down to it sounds like a cliche, but love.
Mm-hmm.
Love and understanding, but not in the way we've been force-fed from God, using the name of God, because you can't. That just has a motive to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you went through the scriptures and anywhere it said Jesus Christ or God and you replaced it with yourself, that's a cool book.
Mm-hmm.
Because you should have those things naturally come to you and know that that's a better situation. I never needed somebody to tell me that killing somebody was bad. We instinctively know that that's not a good thing to do.
Unless it's justified.
But that's even
that's a
crazy.
Hole.
Yeah, it is, because who gets to justify that?
Right.
Our government sure has a fun time doing it.
Oh yeah.
Like we see it with everything. Like if you get pulled over by the wrong cop and you're not, you can end up. He's the one with the gun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can kidnap you at any time. Essentially,
oh, they can.
It's the illusion of freedom is what we've been given. We're in the Matrix, 1,000%.
And I think we see it more because as men, I think we see it more because we're the enforcers of it more often than not.
Well, thank you, Zach, for coming on. I sure appreciate it. Appreciate your time. We'll definitely have to have you on other shows. For those of you still listening, thank you for hanging in there. This has been a broadcast of the Just Josh and You podcast, brought to you in part by Carl Malone Toyota. If you're in the Utah area and looking for a new Toyota to drive off the showroom today, Carl Malone Toyota can help you. Located just off of I-15 and 114 South. Tell them the Just Josh and You podcast sent you. All right, everybody. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Peace be unto you, and keep a smiling, baby. Keep smiling.